Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. On today's video, we are talking about why you should leverage the dollar to move abroad. And we are talking about this subject because always our subscribers or people that comment on the video give us an idea, either making comments or asking questions that we think is a good idea to bring it and talk about it here in the channel. So in today's video, that is the subject, why you should leverage the dollars to move abroad.
Or why you shouldn't.
Why you should. So here I'm gonna give you the definition, not the definition. I'm gonna give you a short definition after reading about it. For me, what I understand about what people mean when they say leverage the dollar. And to me, it's taking a strong currency, exchanging for a weaker currency in order to get more value that you can use. So that is what I understand. So based on that definition,
that's pretty good, man.
Is it?
Man, that sounded good, bro.
Okay, thank you. So based on that definition and what we just said and talk about, how important is the US dollar to be able to move abroad? What do you think?
I think it's very important because if you move to another country and you have to depend on their currency, typically that's not going to be enough for you to live off of. So having the US dollar to back you when you move abroad, I think is very important for the exact same reasons as the definition, because it allows you to exchange your currency for their currency, which typically is a weaker currency, for greater value.
Yes, exactly. I agree. The dollar is very important, especially because in this country where a lot of people move abroad, it is typically the dollars have more value to most of them. If it's not to say all of them, because I don't know everybody's currency, I don't know enough, but I know a lot of countries, the dollars have better value than our money. So for that reason, it's very important, because when you work, you make that money, you are able to afford the lifestyle that you want to live.
Right.
So with that, I'm going to the next point and ask or say, why should you leverage the dollar and move abroad? But at the same time, I feel like it should say better, why not leverage the dollar and move abroad? And one of the reasons, because I feel like the first and the second one is the same thing. It's just the one you say in the negative way. Number one reason is because you see your money going further, you have more buying power.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, when you exchange your money in the local currency, you see it, it stretches further. Like, for example, here the dollar is, what is exchange for now?
Right now it's 58.5, I believe.
So we take the dollar here, it exchanged for 58.5 pesos. So for example, if the exchange rate is 58.5 and you have $500 here, that comes out to be 29,250 pesos. You buy these pesos, you take these pesos and you want to buy dollars. Right now, to buy dollars is 59.20. You're going to divide that by 59.20, and that comes up to be $488. So you pretty much lost $12 in exchange rate. So you can see how your dollar can stretch a little bit further based on the weaker currency. So with that being said, typically local prices in foreign countries are not significantly influenced by the US economy. So that means that you can buy more goods once you convert your dollar into the local currency.
So yes, you are correct. And having said that, let me ask another question or say something else. Is it wrong for US citizens leverage their dollars and move abroad? Do you think is that right or wrong?
Personally, me, I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. Now, you do have people out there that they have a problem with it.
Yeah, and that's why we one time we have a comment where somebody said, when I was talking about moving abroad and that you can use your money or make money, if that person have a comment, I can remember exactly how the comments go, but it wasn't having problem that people shouldn't use their money. Like they should...
it wasn't their money, it was their pension and retirement.
To keep it in the country instead of using it to go somewhere else. Which I don't think, I don't feel there's nothing wrong with it too, because at the point when you retire, and you have your pension, first of all, you already work for that money. When you're receiving that money, because some, if it's pension or what's it called, Social Security, when you have the age, and I don't know a lot about that because I'm no American, but for what I know is that you already have worked for that money, whatever they're giving you, because you already put it in there. So I don't think it's nothing wrong, because a lot of time when you're receiving that money is not even enough. In some state of United States that you are able to live with that money, meaning that you're gonna have to use that pension, and you're also gonna have to find 1 or 2 more jobs to be able to live. So I don't think it's wrong for somebody to try to survive just with that pension, is just live whatever they have left in their life, just enjoying their life.
Yeah, so like she said, the comment basically said that the person said he didn't feel that Americans or people shouldn't use their pension or their retirement to live abroad. That, first of all, he's wrong when he says that, because I think he's wrong just by saying that. But he also said that the money that they receive is directly related to the cost of living in the United States. So basically, which he's wrong again. But basically, what he's saying is that the reason you're getting X amount of dollars is because it's adjusted due to the cost of living, and that's wrong, because a lot of people who get pensions can't live, especially in major put it like this, not major, they can't live where they want to live or where they're currently living, because they're being outpriced. You work years, 20, 30, 40 years, and you're paying into your Social Security, you're paying into your pension and things like that. And for someone to tell you how to spend it, to me is ridiculous. It doesn't matter where you spend it. Now, don't get me wrong, I understand the premise of what he's saying, because basically, the premise of it is, hey, if you make this money, the federal government, of course, wants you to put that money back into the economy. I mean, I understand.
That makes sense, because that put the economy better when you are spending money.
Right. So I understand the premise of it, but to say that it's wrong, I think you're taking it a little bit too far. It's almost like people, when they get their income tax check, they're so happy that they're getting, I got $5,000, but you paid into that. You know what I'm saying? You really just getting the money that you paid into the government and back as an income tax. You know what I'm saying? It's basically like they're giving you back what you overpaid. So for me, I always have them take out, when I was working, I always had them take out the least amount of money. The least amount of money, because I wanted all my money up front. And then at the end of the year, when it's time to, do my taxes, then we'll see if I owe you something. But, for the most part, I don't want you taking out a big chunk and then you try to give it back to me at the end of the year. No, I want all mine, up every week or every 2 weeks. And then I determine at that point, how much, well, I won't determine, but based on how the laws are written, if I got to pay you something back at the end, then I pay you something back at the end. So we'd like to know if you think it's wrong that people use their pensions and their retirements to go and live abroad.
Yes. So, why do you think some people or some expats criticize when they use their pension or the dollar to move abroad?
While I think they get criticized, I think most of the time it's just the people hating.
You think it's people hating?
Yeah. At the end of the day, why would you worry about how somebody else spending their money?
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
I don't worry about what nobody doing with their money. You can do whatever you want to do with your money. That's within. I was about to say as long as it's legal, but even then, that's not my business.
I seen it sometime in the comment section where people criticize that. That's why I asked that question. And again, I don't think it's nothing wrong, because after, like we just said, after you make your money, you decide at the end of your life how you want to spend your money and how you live your life. Basically, you're telling somebody how to live their life.
Right.
Somebody want to move somewhere else,
Yeah, it's like, even when, like, my mom was here this past week. Well, she's been here for, about 3 weeks, but her and I were speaking about, because she's, she gets Social Security or whatever, and her amount, and I was looking online and I was, looking at apartments, and there was an apartment in Santiago. It was a brand new building. It was 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths. I think it was 1.5 baths, 1 parking spot, and it was about $400. And she was like, "What?" You know what I'm saying? $400. Like, man, I could get 3 of them. But with her Social Security now, how many people in the United States, based on what their Social Security they get for Social Security, can say they can buy 3 apartments? You know what I'm saying? I mean, that just shows you how you can leverage your dollar and move abroad. And trust me, if they spoke Spanish here and then drive all crazy, she'll probably be living here.
But you say that she's that based on the amount of money that she do for Social Security, based on the amount of money that she had to pay there, right?
Right. So, if you could get so what I'm saying is, like, off one Social Security check, if you could say you could buy 2 or 3 apartments off of Social Security, off a pension, or not, she don't have a pension, but off of Social Security, that just tells you right there the power of the dollar and how you can leverage it to live cheaper in another country. Like, guys, some people, I don't know, y'all have to tell me in the comment section, but every time when I think about retirement and, what you get for retirement, always, the number 2,000 and 2,500 always comes to my mind for some reason. I don't know if that's just, that's a magical number that, everybody floats out there, or is that just like the median or average of what people get for Social Security? I mean, you get $2,500, you can't live in Miami off $2,500 a month. You can't live in New York, you can't live in LA, you can't live in Houston, Dallas, Chicago. You just can't. But here in Dominican Republic or Thailand or Colombia or maybe Brazil, Philippines and Mexico, you can live off $2,500 a month.
Yes, you can.
I mean, and that's without even blinking. You know what I'm saying? That's not even blinking. And you can stay in some of the major metropolitan cities of that country with modern amenities. You know what I'm saying? So why not?
Yeah, why not? I mean, yeah. I also agree. If she would have probably speak Spanish and be able to drive, because she said she, not even on Sunday she would drive here. But if she was able to get used to, I think, I mean, you could probably, with that amount of money, probably you would be able to save out of your pension. I mean, out of your Social Security or whatever. Yeah. So let me ask you another question. Do content creators leverage their dollar and move abroad? Content creators, let's say, like us.
Of course, we leverage our dollar to move abroad. I think you say this all the time. You say it all the time in every video that don't come here trying to work in Dominican Republic because of the economy. Not saying you can't survive, because obviously there's 10 million people here that's doing it. Well, not 10 million, because all of them don't work, not, making an average wage, but you get what I'm saying. People here are doing it, but you just don't recommend it.
No, because first of all, you come into a country that you don't know. It probably won't be that easy for you to find a job. It will be certain jobs that you can do that you cannot do. And then besides that, then the money that you're gonna make is not gonna be near to the money that you are making, let's say if you live in the US, not nearby. So for you to get used to and survive, unless that you're just doing because you want to just get away and have something to keep your mind busy or something like that. But if you come with the mind that you need that money to survive, and then you need to make money, I don't recommend it. I recommend it at all. I recommend for you to find a way how to make money. I always say in my video, find a way how to make money, and then come over here, because your money will, it will take you long.
Yeah, so another thing someone asked is about why content creators don't talk about them using the U.S. dollar and the power of the U.S. dollar while they're living abroad, which I personally thought it was understood. You know, when I watch content creators and they're living abroad and they're moving around, I mean, I don't think that they're clocking in at Foot Locker or Subway. I just don't think that. I think that they are making their money and it's coming in U.S. dollars. And I don't think that, you know, one has to talk about it. And, you know, we see comments where people, they ask these questions, and it's, to me, it's almost like, sometimes it seems like they're throwing shots, because what I noticed is that people will say, well, if it wasn't for YouTube, then you wouldn't be living like this. You know, if it wasn't, you know, I've seen people send you comments say, if it wasn't for YouTube, you wouldn't be living in Dominican Republic. Or if it wasn't for, you know, YouTube, you wouldn't have this lifestyle. Or if you wouldn't, you know, and it's like, well, you know, if it wasn't for your daddy shooting up the club, you wouldn't be here either. You know, that's how, you know, that's how it is, as if that is something wrong with content creators leveraging their dollar for a better quality of life. And it's almost like they try to shame you for doing it. And most of the time I see it coming from, these comments come from people who look like me, you know, instead of celebrating, you know, positivity, people progressing, it's like you throw these backhand shots and these backhand compliments asking what if and all this stuff, you know, it's just nonsense. So I just wanted to throw that in. I thought it was important that, you know, that I say that.
Mm-hmm. And taking back to that the comment, if it wasn't that, of course, we found something that worked for us. I mean, like we always say, if you want to move abroad, if you want to make money, you will find out how to make it. I mean, you do it probably having a 9-to-5 job in the United States, you will find out how to make it online, that way we can move abroad. It probably, yeah?
No, go ahead.
I say probably you wanted to do the same, but you can't.
Exactly, and that was the thing I was gonna say, is that most people wouldn't even have a problem with it if we were sitting in the United States and making content and spending our money in the United States. But I think the problem is that people see, and not just us, and I'm not talking about us now, I'm talking about, you know, content creators and expats. But what they see is, they see us living in these, what they quote unquote exotic places, like us. I just use us now for right now. Us sitting at a table, making a video, and they know that we're making money off of it. And to me, I think it infuriates them, to be honest with you. Or they see an expat in Thailand or Philippines or Brazil, and he's on the beach and he's making a video and he's enjoying themselves, and they're sitting wherever they are with their 9-to-5. Nothing wrong with having it, but what I'm saying is that I think it just makes them upset, and they feel as if they have to criticize you for, like you said, for finding a way to better your life. And it just all comes down to me. It just seems like they're just hating. Unlike people who are retired in some of these, foreign countries, we still work. We still work every day, so it's not like we're just, sitting back, kicked with our feet kicked up and, not doing anything. We are working, but we just decided, hey, instead of doing it over there and paying this amount, let's do it over here and pay this amount. That way, we'll have a better quality of life and we can do a little bit more with our money.
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's exactly what it is. So do you think that we, or other expat and content creators, will have the same outlook here in the Dominican Republic if it wasn't for the US dollars?
You want to answer that?
I think no. It wouldn't have the same outlook, because if I wasn't making the US dollar, I wasn't be able to afford a lot of things that we afford here. We have to be there working, living the life that we want to live, but we have to be there working. Mm-hmm. So yeah, and that aspect, I think that we wouldn't be able to have the same outlook. At least I can talk about, about me or about us. I don't know about expat or other content creators, but the dollars and be able to do the thing that we do is help us to move this life that we wanted to live.
Right.
I wouldn't say that probably if we would have worked hard enough over there and then say if we put on the type of business with all the thing here, we would be happy. It would be, we wouldn't be able to do it. But this was the way that we found. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That question came from somebody too, and it's like I'm thinking to myself, why is this person asking this question? It just sounds like it's a silly question to me to ask if we would have the same outlook on DR if we weren't receiving the US dollars.
But I think that's obvious. That's something that's
exactly,
obvious.
right.
And then they say, oh, why did they never talk, like the person that mentioned that, why you never talk about how important is the dollar for you to be able to do the things that you do when move abroad? Because it's obvious. It's something that you don't have to talk about. Like, you need money to be able to afford things. Everybody knows that. You don't have to talk about all the time. So why is it that everybody that live abroad, either expat or content creator, they don't talk about how important is the dollar? Because that's obvious. Without that money, you won't be able to do that. So you don't have to be saying it all the time.
Right. So I just thought it was weird to ask that question because I know the person knows the answer. Mm-hmm. And it's almost like you just want to see what the response is. And if I would say, oh, no, I would still want to live here, then it would have been another question after that with, and I'm like, listen, let's be clear, man. Without the US dollar, I would say 99.9% of expats and foreigners would not be in the countries that they're living in if it wasn't a US dollar backing them. Now, I'm not saying that our outlook or their outlook would change on the country itself, because regardless of whether I have $1 in my pocket or $1,000 or $1 million in my pocket, I still feel the same way about DR. You know what I'm saying? I still like it. It doesn't make me not like it because I ain't got any money, or I wouldn't have any money. I still like it, and I think people, these expats and content creators would say the same thing. Hey, I still like Brazil. I still like Colombia, Thailand, Philippines, Mexico, wherever you are, Spain, wherever. They'll still say they like it, but at the end of the day, like you said, you gotta live, homie. You gotta live. You can't live. We got the power of the passport where we can go to almost any country that we want to go to, but they ain't letting us in there to live for free. So we gotta be able to have a way to support ourselves while we're there. So, comments like that, I just think a little bit disingenuous when they ask them. But since you asked, that's your answer. No. Yes, we'll feel the same way about DR, but will we be here? Probably not. Probably not. I mean, the economy doesn't support us the way we'll need to support it, the way we would want it to support us to live the lifestyle we want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is exactly correct. So how long do you think the dollar will be strong? Since we were talking about the power of the dollar, and we know it's very strong.
Well, we already know that the dollar is not backed by anything. So I can't remember what president it was, but it took us off the gold standard, and so now the dollar is just not backed by anything. But everyone's belief in it. So I think it's going to be as strong as you and I believe in it. And I believe a lot in it. I'm believing in that thing, Hey, we got into our morning rituals. We gotta continue. We gotta pray for the U.S. dollar in the morning. We do our morning rituals, so that we're gonna add the U.S. dollar.
But I think a lot of people are praying for it because it's keep going up here, so it's very strong. So it is enough people praying for it.
Yeah. So as long as there's a demand for it, it's gonna continue to remain as the dominant currency. However, it's only as strong as the U.S. economy, because it's also tied to the U.S. economy also.
Okay, yeah, that is very interesting. Mm-hmm. So what would happen if the dollar is not the dominant currency anymore? What do you think it will happen?
If it weakens and crumbles? Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, baby.
Well, I mean, we're going to go back because I remember that from the, what they call it, what was it, the show?
You used to watch Fred Sanford?
Yeah, that one. I used to watch that
Sanford
show.
and Son.
Yeah, I remember you saying that, Elizabeth, every time it was Elizabeth. But yeah, well, yeah, I think a lot of country will suffer. And I don't even want to imagine what could have happened.
And that person asked that question too, and it's like, why are you asking us about whether if the dollar, if it crumbles? We're not the only people that's dependent on the U.S. dollar. There are other countries who depend and use the U.S. dollar. I mean, what about the people in the United States that are that's gonna suffer too if it crumbles? So why is it always the focus on content creators or people that just live out of the country? It's almost like everybody. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody. I hate to say everybody, but it's almost like people just focus on people who are expats or living abroad. Well, what's gonna happen if the I don't know what's gonna happen if the value of the dollar drop and you living in the United States on your job. You mean you ain't gonna get paid or whatever happens? The same thing that's gonna happen to you is gonna happen to me. The value of the dollar is gonna go down. You got to make a decision whether you can still pay for that house you living in, that big house you living in, and I got to make a decision where I can continue to stay in Dominican Republic. Mm-hmm. We all gonna have to make a decision. So to ask that question like that is just, it's just weird. But yeah, if it crumbles, we all in trouble.
Yeah, I think that too. Mm-hmm. We are all in big trouble.
Yep. But I believe that the dollar is not going to disappear anytime soon. Now, I know that they have this BRIC currency, or they're trying to get together with Brazil, Russia, India, China, and I heard there's somebody else in it. Now I can't remember who it is. They're in it too, where they're trying to create their own currency to topple or do away with the US dollar. And it may happen, but the thought of it happening overnight, I just don't think it's gonna happen overnight. Something like that has to slowly creep and go away. And by then, you and I'll be old, wrinkled.
What?
We'll still look good, but we'll be old. So,
yeah, I think that we'll be looking good.
Yeah. So at this moment, man, we're not really concerned about that. It's not at the forefront of our mind. We only think about things we want to happen, and those things are continue to, invest our into assets, and hopefully, if it comes to a point where that does happen, we're in a position where we can deal with it, and so, hey. That's all I can tell you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, exactly. So do you have anything else to say?
No, man. I think I'm tired now. Mm-hmm. I got another video to record.
Do you want to make one for Jay?
Mm-hmm. So guys, go check out that channel, Jay Abroad. Mm-hmm. Over 1,000 subscribers in 5 weeks. About to get that thing monetized. So everybody that's mad at content creators for making money, I'm gonna make it more mad. Continue to hate. Let's get it.
Okay, so this is all what we have right now for what we believe or our opinion in the power of the dollar. And go and check Jay Abroad channel. I know that a lot of people was asking for it. I mean, especially guys that wanted to move abroad, they wanted more information, they want to know different things that they can all go and ask directly to him. Even though he have other channel about cooking, probably some people want to learn how to cook. I think that I should go and check your channel too to learn how you cook like you. Mm-hmm. But just go and check Jay Abroad. If you want to check always everything, just go and check a lot of delicious food, and I know 100% because I eat it all the time. So I know it's very delicious. So this is all what we have right now. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and also share. And we will see you in our next one. Bye.
Peace.
Number one, it get you money further, like we, further is the right way?
Better.
No, like
Further.
further. Number one is because you see your money going further and you have, I can say that
Feather.
right.
You say feather. It's farther.
Farther, okay. Number one is because you see your Number one is because you see your money going farther. I can say that. It sounds crazy when I say
Further.
further.